Hey everybody, how you doing? Yep, it's been about a year. And I said I was going to be back um sometime, and here I am. I didn't really plan on making this video today, and this is not my return video. And actually, I call these where I'm just laying on my bed waiting for my laundry to be done, and I'm just talking. I just call that like a not video. And that's kind of what this is. It's just me here talking with my phone to you about something that's on my mind. So, the reason why I decided to make this video today is I've been hearing a phrase that's really got under my skin. A new little label for people that is not needed, which is, and again, when I say this, I'm not throwing shade on anybody, whatever makes you happy. And whatever works for you. And this does work for people that are already, well, let me just say the word first. The phrase, actually, it's not a word, it's a phrase. The phrase is interabled couple. For a lot of reasons, this really bothered me, especially coming where I heard it from. And I'm not saying they're the ones that originated it, I'm just saying where I heard it from is a YouTube channel, and I'm not going to throw shade on them by mentioning them here. Although later on I'm going to mention them because I love them. I think they're great. I think they're beautiful. I think they're awesome. I just think they're wrong about this. Because, let me just explain something. The phrase interabled couple is a label that just isn't necessary. It's not. It's really a not necessary label. It's a good marketing tool. It really is. And God bless you. Hey, hand to God. Proud of you. Make it work however you need to make it work. I just want to put it out there that it's not a unnecessary label, and it's not offensive, but it's not helpful to those of us that haven't already found our forever person. If you're already in a relationship and you're already there and you're cool with it and that's what you want to call yourselves, great. But to put it out there that, hey, everybody that falls in love and everybody that is, gets in a relationship with someone that is blind or in a wheelchair or has cerebral palsy like me, is in an interabled relationship. Let me just tell you something. It's not that I find it offensive. I find it silly. And I hate to use that word, but that's really what comes to my mind is silly. Because we already have a word for people that fall in love. We have words for people that fall in love. They're a couple. They're dating. They're engaged. They're married. Those are the labels that are put on people that fall in love. In my opinion, your disability has nothing to do with your love life. Or, I mean, okay, depending on your disability, it might have something to do with your love life, but it doesn't have anything to do with you falling in love. And I just think that that's an unnecessary label that doesn't need to be there. End of story, buy me a ticket somewhere else. If you were in a relationship, for example, I've been in relationships with, a lot of different kind of people. I mean, I've dated people that have disabilities. I've dated people that don't have disabilities, but have never and never will be in a relationship, an interabled couple relationship. That just is I'll be in love with someone. I won't be in an interabled relationship, and they'll be in love with me, hopefully, or at least tolerate my silly ass. But, but anyway, the point of my whole rant here is that when you're in love with someone, for example, if you're a person that's trying to date and let's say you're a man who finds, who sees, and this actually happened to me. This is kind of a true story. Not the part that I'm using for a point, but this happened to me one day. I saw this girl in, I don't remember where I was. I was working as a direct care worker at the time. I was working as a support person, a specialized support person. I was called a supports broker, which meant that I would help people with anything. I would help them with, and I don't have any degrees other than the degree of being me, living my life, which is how I got the job. Surprisingly, they were, and I'm going off on a different story, and I don't mean to be, but hey, I'm just sitting here talking. Um, Surprisingly, they had a big, huge. When I got hired to contract through this company, they had a big, huge. Hold on a second, the dogs are barking. I'll be back. So sorry about that. The dogs were going off, and they'll do that from time to time. I have 3 dogs. They're wonderful. You'll meet them at some point in the future. Um, anyway, this doesn't really have anything to do while I'm on there, but to finish my story, when I got hired to contract through the company that I contracted through, they send you a great big huge application, I guess you'd call it, but it's probably, I would guess it was over 150 pages, and it had essay questions, and it had, just different things you needed to know. In other words, most people that got hired to do my job were like college graduate psychologists and things like that, or they have a human resources background in college, or they have something. I filled out this paperwork, and the lady that was the intake lady that hired people, she the human resources person called me and said, "You know what? You've never been to college." And I said, "No." And she says, "You scored better on these tests than most of the people that have gone to college for to work with people with disabilities and things like that, and social work and things." She said that the questions that I answered weren't necessarily like spot on as far as how you should say it, but the answers that I gave in my essays were basically perfect. So that being said, after I got hired, I went to a conference one time, and I saw this girl across the way. She's in a wheelchair, and but she was the most beautiful, beautiful girl that I'd ever seen in my life. And immediately was like, wow, I could just date her right now. And didn't have any problem, didn't give it a second thought. Couldn't date her because eventually, I might have to work for her someday. So I didn't follow up on that. But that was just a natural attraction that happened. I did meet her and talk to her and things like that, but I found out that she was a person that received services, so I wasn't able to date her. But sometimes people just like people because they're people and they just catch their eye, and that's what relationships and love is all about. But if you're a person in a situation like that, and this label is out there, interabled couple label, for example, I know a lot of people that don't want to be associated with a lot of labels, and that's why they don't do certain things or say certain things, because they don't want to be called that. And so if you're a person that is disabled, or even a person that's not disabled, and that label's out there, and you see somebody that you like, you may not approach them, you may not talk to them, because in the back of your mind you're thinking, geez, if I date this person, I'm going to be part of that label. So that's what I mean by it being not a great label for people that haven't found their forever person yet. My personal opinion, not throwing shade at anybody and not putting anybody down. This isn't a criticism of what you do or what you believe. This is just my opinion about how we should treat each other, what we should, that labels really aren't necessary in most cases. They're just there to make people feel more comfortable. Well, I don't need people feeling more comfortable about me falling in love with somebody. It's just, you can either accept it or not accept it in my mind. Because that's not something like I said in the beginning, labels are there to make people more comfortable or to be able to sort it out in their own head, something they can understand. You don't necessarily need to understand my love life, and so a label's not necessary. It's a marketing tool, and I'm fine with that. But let's call it what it is. It's a marketing tool. It's a way to, catch attention to yourself, just like all the other 10,000 labels that have been born for, handicapable and things like that. They were born because they were promoting something, because they were trying to change the narrative. Changing the narrative is a good thing. So let's change the narrative and make it couples, people that fell in love. You're a married, people are married couples, they're engaged, they're going out, they're dating, they're friends, whatever. But people can have all kinds of relationships, and you don't have to put, those kinds of labels on them. So anyway, that was my reason for making this video today. And by the way, I noticed that I do this a lot when I talk. It's not part of my disability. It's just something that I do when I suppose I do have a left eye that kind of drags. So that might be what you see a lot of times. Looks like I'm looking away from you, but I'm really not. It's an optical illusion. It has to do with these two muscles right here in your eyes. They were tied when I was younger. And I was told as I got older it was going to loosen and I would have to have it redone if I wanted to decide to stop doing that. Well, not a priority. So I haven't done it. But, so anyway, that's my rant for today. My first video actually will probably be this, but in a more cogent kind of, organized thought process, and probably be more entertaining. I don't know if it's going to be the next video. Still an LA Raisman video, which I'm working on. It's one that I really want to be able to like put photos of her in, to be able to edit the video, allowable photos, of course. I'm not going to do anything that's going to get me, censored or the video flagged, but authorized pictures and things like that of her, just to kind of be able to explain her story, so it's not just me sitting here talking. So a lot of topics that I want to do won't just be me doing, pillow talk. Basically, hey, because there's a pillow right here. Without a pillowcase, by the way, because I'm doing my laundry. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing this video, because I have like 45 minutes I gotta wait for my laundry to finish doing what it's doing, and right now it's my bedding. So, and that's going to be part of my content for some of my other videos, I think, is going to be me, showing you how I do laundry and showing you how I cook and what I cook. And not necessarily what I cook, but I'm going to cook simple things that people that are on disability can afford to buy, and things that they might not necessarily, believe it or not, I don't want to offend anybody, but there's a whole section of people in the world that are disabled, not disabled, that never use their oven because they're afraid of it, or they don't know how to use it, or they've never been taught, or they've always been told, nope, you just use the microwave or whatever. But with a caregiver's help, for some people, and people that don't have caregivers that just never learned how to use their oven, I'm going to teach you how I do it and give you some safety tips. And not only that, I'm going to show you how I make my bed. I'm going to show you, stuff like that. Plus, I'm also going to cook on my grill that my brother bought me. That is awesome, that you'll see in another video. It's a gravity-fed grill. It's really good for people with disabilities, in my opinion. It's not designed that well. I don't think they designed it for that. But it's actually, the height-wise and the weight-wise of this grill is perfect for people in a wheelchair, perfect for people with balance issues, because this thing weighs like 600 pounds and it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? As long as you lock them wheels, you're good. So we'll be covering that. We'll be covering movies, and I do have a video on here where I've reviewed something on Netflix, which I no longer subscribe to, thank you very much, because it's the same thing all the time. Anyway, so God bless you for the day. Thank you, or God bless you and your day. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, because if I get 150 subscribers, I can go live. Once I can go live, that's going to be my thing. Because I absolutely want to be able to just get on here and talk. And I'm also going to do videos, like I said. But I'd love to be able to get on here and talk, and people ask me questions and I answer them. Simple as that. That's my bread and butter. That's what I've always been good at. I can get up in front of 1,000 people. I used to do stand-up to MC. And I can get up in front of 1,000 people and be comfortable. But stand there in front of 4 people and try to do the same thing, That's nerve-wracking. I stood in front of a class one time with 15 people in it, and I started hyperventilating in the middle of my speech in front of, I think they were 7th or 8th graders. And I literally had to walk out of the room and come back and start over because I lost my cookies. And that's back when I was like 17, 18 years old. But I've stood in front of 1,000 people and done the same thing and had no issues. So life is funny. And hopefully, this way, as long as, like I say, my bread and butter is just having the spontaneous conversation. So my big thing is I want to go live. So in order to go live, you need to, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. God bless you. I hope this turned out okay because I can't edit it. So it's just me here talking to you. And have a great day. Bye.